Hi there, it's Megan Jansen here again from Employee Wellness Solutions Network. Continuing on with our webinar series here on self-care tips for stress. Looking forward now to sharing part B with you, another short webinar here on different self-care tips you can hopefully try to adopt in your own personal lives. This particular webinar, we're going to talk about sleep and moving more. And the next 4 tips will be included in these sort of the top 10 tips for self-care for de-stressing, and hopefully you'll enjoy listening to this webinar as well. How true is this? Quality sleep for energy. Is at work, we think about sleep. At home, sometimes we can be awake for a long, long time thinking about other things. And oftentimes there's not really an in-between. Either we when it comes to sleep, we're really good sleepers, or some of us are not good sleepers, or take a long time to fall asleep, or fall asleep no problem, but then wake up at the same time every night. Lots of different tips and one we can share with this. I encourage you to check out the Family Wellness webinar that we presented in October on Tired of Being Tired. We actually had a sleep specialist talk about this, so make sure you get a hold of that link. We'll ensure that you've got that. It's a really, really good summary of sleep and REM sleep and all sorts of different things. But just to really look at the 7th strategy here on restful sleep, take a look at your bedroom. As silly as that sounds, how dark is it? If you were to think back last night and you opened your eyes in the middle of the night, can you see your hand in front of your face? If you can see your hand in front of your face, the likelihood of your room being dark isn't very high. You need your room to be pitch black dark. You can get those blackout blinds. I know with the snow, it can be a little bright coming in even through those blinds. I have them in my bedroom, but keeping it as dark as possible is really, really key. When we start to fall asleep, there's a hormone that's released called melatonin, and melatonin is our sleepy hormone that can help us fall to sleep. You know, those eyelids sort of dripping, dropping, ready to go to sleep, the full relaxation. That's the job of that particular hormone. And when our rooms aren't dark enough, it can get confused. So really, how does your body fall asleep and relax if it's really, really light out or your bedroom's not too dark? That's how it happens. We can start to have problems falling asleep when our room isn't dark enough. The other thing I wanted to mention before I get into the, it also should be cool, not too hot, not too cold, is any distraction in your room. Blinking of phones or plugged in computers, get them out of your room. If your phone is used as an alarm clock, cover it. So cover the light. Sometimes the lights can blink, and that can be really confusing to your full system of this whole production of your sleepy hormone. Sometimes it just can't happen very easily. You can also turn your alarm clock or turn your phone, whatever you're using, around, so you have 0 light in your face. Some people like to put the alarm clock on the other side of the room. You can do that. But just try not to focus in on that alarm clock and the numbers and the light and getting angry at that clock because you can't fall asleep. One of the things I love to share with people is if you cannot fall asleep, get up. After 15 minutes, get up. Because if you're still lying in bed looking at that clock, after 15 minutes, you're just going to start the whole process of your stress hormones are going to get released, melatonin's not, and you're getting angry at that alarm clock. Now you only have 5 hours of sleep. I'm not going to be able to function tomorrow, and our thoughts can start to spiral. We've all been there. So try to think of ways in which we can limit our distractions, and alarm clocks and blinking lights and lightness in our room are all related. So try to avoid or limit that. The family webinar on sleep is phenomenal. Lots of great information and Q&As, so make sure you check that out too. But I want to talk now about a couple of strategies on movement. This is one of my favorite pictures. Yes, this is a cute sloth, but it's not meant to be cute. It's meant to make a point. I had someone mention, Megan, this is a cute picture. I know it is, but we have to think about this is if we don't move, we have no energy. And we need to have energy in order to deal with what we have to deal with when it comes to stress. So no movement really is no energy. So we want to try to figure out ways in which we can move more during the day. This next tip, I love. This tip, motivation to move. I call these oxygen events. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this into play is oftentimes you'll hear different health and wellness promotion messages on 30 minutes a day, 10,000 steps a day. We need to move 150 minutes a week, all these different great guidelines. But the reality is most of us, although we have intentions to do what we need to do, sometimes don't. And so what I like to share with you is how can we move more during our workday, more during our day, even on the weekends, that will motivate you to want to do more. Because if we want to promote moving more, being happy, making the right choices, doing the right things, including our family members, we need to make sure we have the energy to do that. Because if we don't have the energy to do that, it may not happen. So how can we help you feel motivated to do more is really start with small steps. And one of these ways in which I like to share this is, can you create 10 oxygen events a day? Can you do 10 things that gets you thinking about your breathing rate? So getting up, walking if you're an office worker, getting up, walking over to fill your water bottle and back to your desk, that will be one oxygen event a day. If you are on your feet a lot and you're moving around a lot, can you plan on, at break time doing the stairs once, or walking outside once, or getting up or moving, doing different things to help you want to get more activity in? Could you wear a tracker, a pedometer or a Fitbit, Garmin, different things that you can track your steps? If you're on your feet a lot, wouldn't it be great to know how much you're actually moving? So different ways in which you can think about this is moving more to make it work for you and to motivate you to do more. So think of 10 oxygen events a day. And if that means a 10-minute walk around the block at a break, or getting up and moving to go to the opposite kitchen to get a drink of water or a cup of hot tea, then count that. But try to make your day based around 10 oxygen events a day. I think that's really a beneficial tip for us who are dealing with a lot of other things. The other thing to think about is if your stress levels are very, very, very high, then this would be something too that you can think about building your day around on helping you want to deal with stress through exercise. That might mean going to the gym. It might be going for a walk with your coworkers or friends. It might be taking your kids for a bike ride. It might just be walking to release your mind of everything that's going on. But try to build your de-stress tactics around moving more, because then you'll have clarity on how to deal with it. And so again, different concepts here for different people. If you're not an exerciser, build in 10 oxygen events a day, get up 10 times. If you are on your feet all day long, come up with different ways in which you can ensure you're getting enough movement during your day. And then the third piece is, if you are an exerciser and you do deal with a lot of things at home and at work, try to find ways in which you can slow down your thought process by just doing something activity related. Not with the focus necessarily on fitness. Have the focus be on function and coming up with clarity to deal with what you have to deal with. Do more of what makes you happy. That's really what it comes down to. If you hate the gym, don't go to the gym. If you hate biking, don't bike. If you love to walk around your block. If you love to see the sights of the season or see the sights of different things going on, then plan to do that. Do more of what makes you happy. And I think that's really what it comes down to. Which leads me into the last two strategies here on finding that motivation, finding that mindset, trying to create a positive mindset for ourselves in the midst of lots of different stress. So I love this saying, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. I mean, how true is that? Henry Ford coined that. I love it. This is one of the things you can do to create a positive mindset. This is a worry board. You might have heard of goal boards and vision boards and different things, which you'll see in the next slide. But this is a worry board. This is what you do. You take a piece of Bristol board, something physical, put in words, pictures, different things that worry you. This is my worry board, actually. No judgment. I'm worried about social media. I don't really know how to do it very well. Worried about, I've got a 7 and a 9-year-old. You often worry about if you're doing the right things with children. I have a family from New Brunswick. I grew up in New Brunswick, and I have a brother who's not well, so I worry about him. I worry about different business ideas, business plans. I'm a business owner, so obviously there's concerns there. But these are things that I have zero control over. So what you do is you build a worry board, then you rip it up. How liberating is that? Rip up your worry board. You can't worry about it anyway, so the act of ripping it up is actually something very, very helpful and almost cathartic for some people. Rip up your worry board. Switch your negative or worrisome mindset to a positive one. Create a vision board or goal board. Now, some of you seeing this today are going to be thinking, Megan, this is great information, but this is a step that I will not make, and that's totally fine. This is an example or a strategy to help with self-care. If you find that you get motivated and de-stressed, a positive mindset by thinking about positive things, this might be great for you. Do you goal set? Do you write it down, or is it in your mind? If you're a goal thinker in your mind, get it on paper. Take a step further and put a picture to it. So you see here lots of different things on my vision boards, our family board, our business board, our house renovation board. Anything positive that we want to focus on or think about, we want to put on this board. So think about those particular things in your life that make you a positive thinker. Put those available on some form. This is a 6 by 8 foot wall in our house. This is important to us as a family. You do not have to go home and say, guess what we have to do? You can start with a piece of Bristol board. I did. And just start putting pictures and have it available so you can see it every day. Real simple strategy, and I think that you'll really enjoy it. The last strategy on happiness and stress and positive mindset, negative mindset, spiraling thoughts, is don't look for happiness, create it. We've talked about 10 strategies over this part A and part B on nutrition, on de-stressing and relaxing, on moving more, and on better sleep. Don't look for it, you need to create it. What can you do today to help you with your stress levels? Someday you'll look, I love this, someday you'll look back and understand why it all happened the way it did. Think about that. Where you are today. Think back to the connections you've made. Connect the dots of where you were to where you are now. And you will understand, maybe not today, but it will all make sense to you at some point. I end with, today I will be happier than a bird with a French fry. Today I will be happier than a bird with a French fry. How happy are they? So hopefully we've been able to share some self-care tips with you that will hopefully resonate with how you're dealing with stress and how you're dealing with what's going on. If you need help, reach out. You do have resources available to you, ensuring that you are feeling good. And that's what it's all meant to be. Enjoy your day. Thanks for listening. Love to hear your feedback. Thank you.